I've already tried making a video on how to make a GD beginner thumbnail too many times, so I'm just going to make this like the absolutely final recording, and I'm going to go through everything you want to know on how to actually make a good looking beginner geometry dash thumbnail. But before we do begin, I'm going to leave a link in the description on how you can get all of these plugins that I've got right now, because the base version of Paint.net is not going to actually help you make something like what I'm about to show us now. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. And the first thing you want is the level screenshot. I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go to my pictures. I've already got a screenshot saved for this, so I've got a bunch here, and the one that I'm going to go for is Eternal Moment. And since this is actually a pretty good level, I'm going to basically add the screenshot in, and it's there. You've got your screenshot and it's the base layer, it's the background. And right now what you want to do is just make sure you have a decent screenshot that's like the actual aspect ratio you want. For me, 1280 by 720 isn't really good enough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to image, resize, and then I'm going to set it to 1920 by 1080, since that's like the ideal aspect ratio you want for this. Now that I've resized it to this, it's there, and it's like fully it's the size that I want it to be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the layer, I'm going to go to effects, I'm going to go to photo. I haven't done this in a while, so forgive me if I stutter or make just screw anything up. I'm going to go to photo, vignette, and I'm going to add a vignette to this to add some atmosphere to level, and it's gonna make it like, it's gonna blend it in like very well with the aesthetic of the level. So I've just changed the radius a bit so it's showing there. And after I've got my vignette, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to blur, I'm gonna go to Gaussian blur, and I'm just gonna make it so that you can like, it's not too over obscure. You don't want it to look like that, because like that's not good. But you want it low down, and you want it like a depth so like you can't see it like that, but you can like see it decently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set it in, I'm just gonna input my value that I want it, and the one I'm gonna do is 2.5, because 2.5 it just looks pretty nice there. And that's this bit done. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to text, no, not recolor, you idiot, text, and then I'm gonna type in eternal. Oh my god, that is so small. So I've got my text there, but that's not actually how it's gonna stay. That's not what the final result's gonna look like. We need a decent font that matches the theme of the level. Now a lot of thumbnails I've seen for this are like, they're all very they've got a lot of very intimidating fonts that like, you need one that actually fits the theme of the level. So I'm gonna just go into like one of these themes, techno, gothic, or maybe one of the ones in the fancy category. I'm just gonna quickly pick out a font, and I'll be back to you right now. So the font I've picked out for this is going to be it's in here somewhere, and I've got it here. It's called Chopstick, and Chopstick, and I'm just gonna basically make it center on the text, and I'm gonna resize it to something that like pretty much takes up the entire screen. So let's try 216, not 280. Yeah, this is a nice size for the text, I think, and I've got the text there. And now what I would recommend doing here is, firstly, you've got your text, but if it's like a one-word thumbnail like Sedulous, Tartarus, or Subsonic, I'd suggest putting the name of the level with something, with the name of the creator below. So like Sedulous, Samifying, Tartarus, Riot, Subsonic, Vibrant, and that's basically what you're going to want to do. But in the case of a two-word thumbnail like Prismatic Haze or Eternal Moment, you want to have both words in it, and you don't want the creator text. So I'm going to go like moment, I'm going to add that in. I'm going to center this as well, just like I've done with the other one, on a different layer as well, because I've screwed up. I've added eternal onto the background there. Just make sure you add a new layer for each text. Okay, so I'm going to retype that in here. Eternal. There. Now I'm going to go moment here. Now I've got it on 2 different layers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically blend it in very well. I'm going to go onto my tool, I'm going to select the magic wand, and on the layer that you're on, so like if it's on moment here or eternal here, I'm going to see if it's layer 3 and if it has moment, and I'm going to select everything with the magic wand and hold control while doing this so it selects every single one, because if I don't, then it's just going to do one bit separately. So control and click on the letters so it's there, and now you're going to go to effects, render, gradient, and you just want to make sure that it like blends in the style of the level. So the background is like really, this has a hard color scheme to do, but let's just find the right way for this to look. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a slightly brighter color on the top, and this is a hard one to do actually, because it's just got like a few really weirdly, it's got a few very weirdly textured parts in the actual thing, so I just need to find the right colors for this, and I'll just be back once I've done that. Okay, now I'm just starting to realize how much of a bad idea this screenshot was, because it's just, the colors are so hard to like blend, and it's really not going well. Like, this is really difficult to do. Alright, so this is the best I'm probably gonna get on this, but oh well, not to worry. Let's just make it more aesthetic here, and there. Now I've got my gradient set. I'm gonna go to effects, I'm gonna go to object, bevel object, and then we're just gonna increase this depth so it looks pretty detailed, pretty 3D, and it just overall comes together very nice. You can try experimenting with this strength option just to see if you can find something that you like the look of. For me, I'm just gonna like raise the depth a little bit and keep the strength on the darker side, and we've got that set. And now I'm gonna go to effects, I'm gonna go to photo, I'm gonna go to glow, and I'm gonna max that radius out, decrease the brightness of it, and increase the contrast, so it's just gonna like blend everything together very well. So now that's the main part. What you want to do is you want to deselect the text, and you want to go to object outline, and increase the outline so that it just makes it really detailed, and it brings it out from the screenshot in the background of the text. So I'm just gonna mess around with this a little bit. Yep, I've got my outline set now, and now that's this part of the text done. You've got your one part of the text done, and now you want to do the exact same stuff with the other bit of the text. So let me go to eternal here. We go to effects, render, grid. No, I forgot a step there. That's an example of what not to do. Make sure to actually select your text, because if you don't, as you saw earlier, that's what's going to happen. And now is when you click render, gradient, select the gradient you want. Now go do the same for the bevel. I'm just like really rusty with Paint.net because I've been using Photoshop for a lot of my thumbnails, and I'll probably bring a tutorial out for that as well on how to make a pretty decent looking Photoshop thumbnail. But now what I'm going to do is the same on this side. Click that, select it, deselect now, and click object, outline object, and then just do the same thing you did with the other part of the text with the outline. Now you've got the main part of your thumbnail done. This is good. This can go on a lot of different styles. This is a good base for improvement on what you want to do in the future with your thumbnails. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring it further in, and we're going to basically just make it look a lot nicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a duplicate of these layers. So let me click, where's the duplicate option? Duplicate layer. And I'm going to drag it behind the background so I can come back to it later. I'm going to do the same with this. Duplicate it, bring it behind the background. And because what we're going to do now is we're going to merge the layers together. Once you've gotten it looking like how you want it, we're going to merge them together. Now it's, as you can see, it's a singular layer. And we're going to resize it so that it takes up a fair amount of the screen, but not like the entire screen, because of what we're about to do next. Because what we're going to do now is we're just going to like slightly off center it to the left or right and click deselect. And now what you want to do with this is duplicate it, so you've got another layer of this type, and want to drag it behind your main layer, and you just want to move it behind the text like a somewhat shadow. And once you've done this, you want to go if you want to go like this, just once you've gotten it set to something that you want, like I think I'm going to leave it at that. Once you've done that, what you want to do is click select, deselect it, then click layers. You can click layer properties, or you can click if I just don't select the layer, you can click F4 as well. Wait, what? I just changed my mind. Never mind. You can just double click on your layer panel to bring up the layer property menu, and you've got a bunch of different layer styles and layer options. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to either do additive, color dodge, or overlay for mine. The best look for me was probably color dodge, so that's the one that I'm going to set it to. But make sure that you've got it to make sure you've got one that you like the look of, because you might not actually like the look of it later. And once you've got it set, you just want to like make it look like a bit of a shadow to the regular part of the text. So I've got this like that. I'm going to deselect this, and that's basically the main part of your thumbnail done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to center the text so it's like fairly nice looking on the centering, because it's just not centered right now. Center the text, and then what you want to do next is this next part is basically, well, not optional, but it helps out. What you want to do is add a new layer, make sure that it's above everything else, and you want to go to your files, and you want to grab a flare. You want a somewhat like type of like, do you know like lens flares? You want something like that. So I'm gonna go to this pack. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna grab this, and I'm going to paste it, open it, copy this, and then paste it onto here. And now what you want to do is double click this, change the blend mode to additive, and then go to image. Yes, deselect, then go to adjustments and go to hue and saturation, and you just want to make sure that it's like it matches the color of the text, because then it's going to be like a sort of it's going to just be like a sharpened bit of the, it's just going to sharpen your text. It's going to like really, it's going to make it look really nice. And once you've got that, you make sure you copy it while you're dragging it around, deselect, add a new layer, and then copy it over. Well, don't copy it over like that, just copy from there again, add it in, change the preset to additive, do the same here, adjustments, hue saturation, and then change the hue for it until you've got it like looking the way you want for the text. There we go. And then now that you've got like some nice flare elements added onto it, what you want to do is just keep doing this until you get to something that you like the look of. And after this one, that's probably all the correction I'm going to do to this. Now I've got it looking like how I want, and I'm going to just add one more in just for good measure to balance the entire thing. Do the same there, add it to select, and that's there. That's looking pretty nice so far. And this next part, some people may argue that it makes the thumbnail look messy. I think it looks pretty cool. But what you want to do is, it's going to sound stupid, but that's the entire point. You go here, you open a new tab, you go into Google because Yahoo doesn't work, and you want to just search up the color of the actual level. So search blue, then galaxy background, and go to images and just find a background that you like, because this is going to be just kind of like an overlay for the actual thumbnail. Make sure it actually matches up to your aspect ratio, because here it says 1920 by 1080, so we know it's going to work with the aspect ratio that we have for the thumbnail. Go here, go to this bit here, copy image once it's in full quality, or you can just like click it again. Well, don't click it again, just like go here. If you wanted to like open image in new tab, so or just save the image. What just happened there? I swear I just clicked. Oh, I just clicked save image, but oh well, not to worry. At least I've got another one of them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the actual thing again, add a new layer, and I'm going to paste it. What the hell? Copy image. This is just like really annoying me now. Open image in new tab. I'm clicking open image in new tab and it's just downloading it. What the hell? Oh well, not to worry, I guess. I'm gonna just go and figure this out real quick. Ah, there we go. I got it. Now this is there, and what you want to do is double click the layer option and change the blend mode to additive, so it's an overlay on the text. That is so bright, holy Jesus. And once you've got that there, you don't want it looking like that, because you can like barely see anything at all. So what you want to do is go to opacity slider and bring it down to something that you like. Now personally, that looks pretty nice. I'm just gonna go like that. And I'm just gonna make it slightly bigger because there's a watermark on the image. I'm going to and then add this in like that, resize it. And once you've got it done and set with the opacity level that you want it, you're basically done with the thumbnail. This is very good for a beginner thumbnail, and you can basically adapt your method when you go into like better software and better plugins like Photoshop, Paint.net, Photoshop and stuff, and you can actually make it look a lot better. You can make it look a lot smoother. I'll put in a few examples of what I'm at in terms of my thumbnail making right now, and that's basically the tutorial done. I really hope that's not the end. Click file, click save as, just save it to a folder that you usually put all of your projects in. For me it's just going to be painted on that thumbnail project. Save it as a PNG or a JPEG, either works, and just rename it to Eternal Moment Thumbnail and save. Click OK, flatten image, then unflatten the image and actually save the actual Paint.net file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just save it to something else later on. I'll do this exact same step once I make a proper area for this. So we'll click on new folder, Paint.net files. Paint.net files. Now I've got that there because I never actually had one in the first place. I was just saved them as an image. Click save as there. Eternal Moment Thumbnail, Paint.net files, save it as the Paint.net file, and it's saved. The thumbnail's done. Thank me later because you're going to get really good from this point on. Now I'm just going to discard that, and Tutorial done. I've tried so many times to make one since there are no good tutorial thumbnails on YouTube on how to do these, so I really actually hope that this helped out, and I hope you can actually go on to advance your style in thumbnail making. But that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed. Like if this helped, subscribe, give this to your friends who are looking to make better thumbnails, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.